Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I just thought I'd give you a brief update on where we are with the community as far as getting situated and settled in. It's a very cold day up here on the homestead. We're having quite a few issues with different people in the different communities, just not having what it takes, the commitment, or just the ability to endure rough times. This is hard living. Make no mistake about it. This is not your average rodeo. So to come up in here and say you want to be in a set apart community and be off the grid and find a different kind of peace that you haven't had and where you're currently at, it takes a sacrifice. And if you're not willing to do it, you've got to get the right mindset, because it is an adjustment. This is hard living out here. Chopping wood. I'm walking over now to the wood pile right there. That's firewood. It's a different type of working. You're not getting up in the mornings, trading hours for dollars, working for somebody else, building somebody else's dream. You're trying to build the Israelite community. It's just all hands on deck. But first you gotta have the survival mindset. What does it take, to endure to the end? Do you have what it takes? Are you willing to do what is necessary so that you have at least a fighting chance? The wind is blowing. It's about 27 degrees up here. And all the work that has to be done, outside, it's still things that have to be done, and it's just not gonna come quickly or easily. And I don't know, I just think that people, they want to be in charge, but they haven't reproved themselves. You got to reprove yourself with the Most High. Being in a position of responsibility takes sacrifice, meaning you're going to be the one that has to do the work when other people decide to quit. You can't quit, because the Most High has entrusted you with the responsibility to do what you need to do in order to establish some type of covenant, okay, under this new order of Melchizedek. It's a different type of thing. It's not, because as we know from Scripture, he was a king and a priest, right? So there's a combination thing that goes with being both a king and a priest. He's also king of righteousness, okay? So you can't have that without a little bit of turmoil and a little bit of strife and a little bit of suffering. Now, people say to me, why would you want to go out there and do all that? Chopping wood and living out in the middle of nowhere, and it takes you 20 minutes just to heat up and start a fire, to make a cup of coffee or a hot beverage, or just to stay warm. Well, there's a trade-off. Like when I worked in the nursing facilities, and prior to that worked in the classroom, you're getting up, giving your 100% to somebody else and some other entity or corporation. If you're in the corporate world, you trading hours for dollars so that you can come home. If you're living in a nice luxury apartment, so you can just hit the light or hit the switch and hit the thermostat, and then the heat comes on. And you hit another switch and the stove comes on. You hit another button and the toilet flush. Some people even have heated floors, luxury. Well, in the set apart life, you're returning back to the old ways. And the old ways requires manual. You have to think manual about everything. And some people just don't get it, because you can stand around with your camping gear and you got the latest gear and gadgets, but you don't know how to use any of that equipment. But you went out and bought the best pocket knife and the best multi-tool, but what good is all of that if you don't know how to use it? When you want to stand around and you want to bring the city ways with you out here in the middle of nowhere, and you don't want to help the elders. I'm gonna mention some names right now, like Elder IU. You can tell when people have done the work. You know who's been doing the work. You know who's been suffering the longest and the most, and dealing with sacrifice, and know what is required. Okay, you got Elder IU, and you got Big Judah. Was very encouraging and inspirational to me, the leader, because he tells it like it is, and to get you in the right mindset, because wherever the mind is, the body should be able to follow, right? So if you don't have the right mindset, you cannot be turned to the King. See, because of our curses in the Deuteronomy, if you begin to read those chapters, you'll understand what's necessary. People are so busy focused on what other people are doing or not doing. All you need to focus on is what you have to do. Because it doesn't matter what other people are doing. It only matters what you do. And if you're not willing to do the work, you can't complain about what somebody else is doing or not doing that have done the work. Okay? So if an order has been given and you've been assigned to do a task, and right now, people are in a laid-back mode. But we really don't have time to be in a laid-back mode because too much stuff has to be done. We got all this work to do and not enough hands. Okay, and it's getting harder and harder to get things done because people are lazy and don't want to do what's necessary and expect everything to already be done for them. There's a reason why you're paying $2,000 a month rent. You don't own it because there's an expectation when you're paying that kind of money. But your time is worth money too. Your health is worth money. Your life is worth money. Okay, the food you grow is worth money. The wood you chop to keep warm is worth money. Everything you do out in the wilderness is worth money. So yes, I tell people I'd rather be out here working and be in communion with God, the Most High, and taking 20 minutes to make my coffee because he woke me up. He saw fit to wake me up, okay, to do another day, to complete another task, to pray to him and give him all the praises for the blessings that we have, okay, because the last time I checked, God Most High is responsible for the blessings as well as the curses. And if you want to remove these curses, you got to do the work. Okay? I can tell you about a time when I lived in the city and I lived in a house in an area, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about where I moved from, which is on the East Coast. But I mean, to get ready for this, we were in the house with no heat, right? It's 0 degrees outside, and if we could get it to 50 degrees inside, oh, that was a good day. Because, in the city, you're not allowed to burn firewood. You're not allowed to have wood burning stoves. So you have to have other ways to keep warm. You have to get creative. This is what the prepared mind is about. The survival mindset is about. So you can go out, and just because you have the fortune enough to go and buy those expensive gadgets and all the state-of-the-art tents and cabins or whatever it is, what you're going to be for a shelter. What good is all that if you don't know how to use any of the tools? Okay? You're coming into an environment where everybody's coming at different levels of understanding of the Most High and what it means to be obedient and what that means. Obedient means discipline. And it takes a lot of focus to be disciplined around a bunch of people in an environment where they want everything now. They got the I want it now mentality. They don't know what it means to plant a garden and watch something grow from seed and to nurture it so that you can produce food. Because, as they say in 1 Thessalonians, if you don't work, you don't eat. So whether it is you're going out to trade hours for dollars to build somebody else's dream, or whether it is you have the fortitude and the blessings and the willingness to come out in the middle of nowhere and start from the ground up to create your fortune based on your own energy and efforts and your prayers and strength that you get from the Most High and edification with like-minded people who come along the way. So we talk about Big Levi, who talks about alone in this walk, because each one of the tribes brings a different aspect, okay? There's 12 tribes of Israel. So you just got to get an understanding about what it is you need to do. And lean to not thy own understanding, but put your faith in the Most High. Because people are going to disappoint you. Every time they're going to betray you, as Luke talks about. Because these are the kind of times that we're living in. We're in the middle of these end times. Okay, I'm not going to get into a whole lot of scripture quoting, because there's enough of you out here in the Israelite community that can do that. Okay? And so I just wanted to update you and make this brief video to let you know that, you've got to do something. Because I know people are coming to the lands, the different lands that we've been blessed with, and they don't last more than 3-4 months, some of the families. And now you got to think about what you're doing to your children, uprooting them like that because of our selfishness. And not wanting to have any kind of humility for those who've come before us and paved the way, and those of us who are in the wee hours of the morning on our hands and knees crying to the Most High and asking for the strength to carry on and continue. You don't know what goes on behind the scene to make what you see possible, because everything manifests in the spiritual realm first, before you even see it on the physical realm. So that means the person who's in charge and has been entrusted with the responsibility, they putting in the work. Okay? Because as the scripture says, a man shall be known by his fruits. So with that understanding and with that thought that I wanted to share with you today, that mindset, I think people need to go back and ask the Most High and Father Yah to get some more understanding about what's going to be required. Because as you get closer to Him, He will download all the information that you need to make the right decisions. So you are in the position that you're in now because of the decisions that you've made and the choices that you made. Not what somebody else has made, the ones you made. Remember that the next time you want to blame somebody for upsetting you. Like, I have people say, I don't like how you say something. Yeah, but what you need to understand is when you hear it, is it because of the sound of the voice or the tone or is it just because that's just an excuse because you don't want to ask yourself the deeper question? Is it the truth? Is what you hearing the truth? Because if it's the truth, then it shouldn't matter, okay, how the message is delivered. Because we're all children of the Most High, okay? Those of us that claim to be Israelite. So that means you should be getting the same downloads from the Most High that the other person is, because we do have the ability to communicate telepathically. That's how the Most High works through us. Okay, He will send you, hopefully, in this walk, like-minded people that know what needs to be done without asking a whole lot of questions and doubting the people who are in responsible positions and in positions of leadership. And no, even if you do have military experience or background or training, that doesn't translate into leadership in the field, in the real world, where you don't have those support systems that the military provides. It's a very compartmentalized operation in the military. And one person, one group doesn't know what the other group's task is, but we're all on the same mission, sometimes different missions, working together for a goal. But when you out here building stuff from the ground up, these networks have to be formed over time. They don't happen overnight. So if those of you just want to pack up and you got small kids and you're not thinking about how all that uprooting and moving around from place to place is going to affect them, you need to be thinking about that, because it requires a sacrifice, and they're going to be looking at you. Okay? And when you want to give up, think about them. Think about how it's going to affect them down the road if you give up because of your ego, because of your hurt feelings. And those of you that haven't been blessed enough or don't have any children, because for whatever reason, because the Most High is the one that blesses us through the procreative urge. Okay? So for whatever reason you don't have any children in this lifetime, you can help those of us that do have children, right? You can be an asset in that way to help out with that, okay? And find a way to ask the person what it is they need as far as help, okay? Instead of asking a whole lot of questions about what's going on in the land that we're in. No, you get in where you fit in. That's what it's about. Instead of walking around with this entitlement attitude and act like somebody owes you something when they've already put in all the work. Years. Some people decades of work. Okay? So, you got to have your house in order. You want to be the prophet? You want to be out there helping people? Make sure your own house is in order first. Okay? Because that is what people are looking at. Don't get caught in the 7 deadly sins. Okay? And someone can Google that if you feel the need to know what it is. But covetousness is the first deadly sin. When you are coveting what somebody else has. Okay? That'll get you in a lot of trouble. Jealousy about what somebody else has, instead of figuring out what you need to do to get your blessings from the Most High. So he'll turn on his ear and answer your prayers in those wee hours. Covetousness is one of the first deadly sins. You can't covet thy neighbor's anything. So get that across first. So when the next time you want to get caught in your ego and storm off because you don't like how something is being done, ask the Most High to give you clarity on that. Pray for clarity about how it happens. Because you holding on to all that stuff instead of letting it go, all it does, it blocks you from helping the Father reestablish the covenant on this land. Okay? Just think about that. And I want you to, in your quiet hour, and when you pray, the next time you pray, or you talk to the elder and you seek advice or counsel, I want you to kind of keep these things in mind if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And when you see that person who you have some type of negative emotions towards, just understand that, all things that we do come together for our greater good. And the reason why you don't have what you think you're supposed to have at this point in your life, think about those decisions that you've made in the past. Because your current circumstances is a culmination of every decision and every life choice that you've made up to this point. It's not over, and it's not too late. You can change it, but you just have to be willing to change it. Now, I don't want to go too much longer in this video. I'm coming up on 20 minutes. And I just wanted to share that message with you today. And hope that you have a blissful day and a peaceful day. And remember to give thanks to the Most High. So all praises to the Most High, Yah. Shalom. Thank you.